What is going on, guys? Frank Kenny over here, founder of Lion Media and advertising agency. In this video, I'm going to show you how to properly set up a Facebook ad account that just squeezes out conversions, right? And the reason why I'm creating this video is that a lot of people, especially, in the agency world, or perhaps if you own a brand or a company and you run your own Facebook ad advertising, many people don't know how to properly set up a Facebook ad account for conversions or for leads, right? And so that's what I'm going to show you exactly in this video. A little bit about myself, I own an agency now, Lion Media, and I've worked for multiple agencies like overseas, like in the UK, and as well some of the top agencies here in America. Having spent over $5 million total marketing budget, right? So I've audited a lot of marketing accounts. I've audited a lot of Facebook accounts, right? Ultimately, I've often see people set up their account wrong, and so they say, "Oh, this doesn't work for me." Like, what is going on? It's just because you just haven't set up the account properly to get the conversion it is that you're looking for, right? And so that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to show you what campaign strategy to select if you want the conversion, right? I'm going to show you how to set up an ad set, how to set up audiences that's going to yield the best conversions. I'm going to show you how to set up ads, right? What to click, what to pick to get the highest conversions possible, right? Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Now, I'm assuming that you've already set up a Facebook. I'm assuming that you've already set up a business manager, right? You have an ad account set up. You have the pixel all set up, right? You have the code set up within your website, within your e-commerce website, right? And you also have a product catalog set in place, right? So let's assume that all that is in place. If not, then I'm going to create a video later on just to kind of show you how to do all those stuff if you haven't already, right? Because I know that's sometimes an issue for some people. They don't know how to set all that stuff up. So, but you have your dashboard over here, right? So you have the right ad account in which you want to run the campaigns, right? You have your pixel set up and things of that essence. So now what you want to do, right, is create your campaign. This is you creating your first campaign, right? To some of you, I don't know, you may have a different interface because I know this is something that Facebook has recently rolled out, this interface that you're seeing on my screen specifically, right? It used to be a little bit different. So maybe some of you still have that different interface, but nonetheless, the objective should still be the same, right? This is really one of the most important things. So really pay attention over here, right? So you see all these different campaign objectives, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? You have 6 different campaign objectives. And a lot of this is where people get stuck. What am I supposed to pick? Am I supposed to pick a traffic, awareness, engagement, leads, app promotion? Obviously, it makes sense, if you're a lead gen and you're trying to generate leads. So that, yes, it certainly makes sense just to select the lead campaign. But see, a lot of times what I see people make is select the traffic campaign and they're looking to get conversion, right? And as you can see over here, like on the right hand side, like it says traffic, send people to a destination, like your website. And it's good for link clicks, landing page view, messages. But you see, what you really want to pick for the highest conversions, in fact, for any conversion, is the sales, right? If you own a clothing company, right, or any company that you own that you're looking again to yield conversion, the sales objective is the only objective that you should really ever mess around with, right? Obviously, the other objective are also good for some reasons, but again, for sales, if you want conversion, which is what matters at the end of the day, to get people to purchase your product, sales is the sure objective that you need to pick, right? So sales objective, we're gonna pick that, boom. And so, again, some of you guys may have this feature, some of you may not. So you have 2 options over here. So you can manually set up your campaign, which is what we're going to pick today, right? But Facebook, once more, recently released an update, right? A new campaign strategy, which is called Advantage Shopping Campaign, which is very effective, right? It's very effective if you know how to properly deploy it, but that's not what we're going to focus on today. So you can simply ignore this for the time being and then just click Manual Sales Campaign, right? And then proceed with that. Perfect. Now, if you might get into this interface, you may be a bit confused, like, oh man, this is a lot. You have all these different options that you need to pick. Right here is really simple. This is really just naming your campaign and making sure like you write the objective set into place. So naming your campaign. So, conversion, or you say top of the funnel, but I like to call this prospecting, and then boom. And then as you go down over here, you have this different option. That's, campaign details, like the auction. Always leave the auction. Always leave like the buying tab as auction, right? And then obviously this is the campaign objective that we selected in the beginning. You can change this. You can change this anytime within this interface, but obviously we want to keep it at the sales, right? And then catalog, right? So we're not gonna get into much details with the catalog right now, but you do want to make sure that you have a catalog set in place within your account, right? But that's not the purpose of this video, right? Of this video. So we're just simply gonna ignore this for now, right? And you also see over here you have like the A/B testing, right? A/B testing is very important, right? But nowadays, like, I don't really use this thing, right? And I'll explain the reason why later on in this video. And A/B testing, like, the campaign strategy that I'm going to show you, it already does that, right? The way you structure your account, you're going to be A/B testing a lot of the time, right? So I don't ever really use this. Maybe some people do, some people don't, but I don't use it, right? And so you have over here Advantage Campaign Budget, right? This is very important, right? So when selecting this option, if this is off, this means that you're going to be managing your budget on an ad set level, meaning on the audience level. When you're selecting your audience, you're going to be managing the budget, how much you want to allocate towards each audience, right? This is if you don't select this campaign. But however, if you select this to on, that means that the budget is going to be managed at the campaign level, right? So you set the budget at the campaign level, and then with the different audiences that you're going to have, Facebook is going to distribute the audience based upon the best performing audience, right? And so it's really easy for this to, like, if you have a lot of different audiences or a lot of different ad sets, then you don't really have to do a lot of managing, right? You just set it, and Facebook obviously is going to allocate the budget towards the one that's performing the best, which, sometimes is good, but I find in instances, which we're going to talk about later, to where it's not so effective, right? So for the sake of this video, we're going to keep this as it is. So we're going to keep, we're going to do $100. And then campaign bid strategy. We want the highest volume. We want the highest volume. We don't really ever want to mess with this, right? And obviously, if you can click over here, you can see option to scheduling the post. I don't really ever do that. So after all this is all set, boom. So again, just to kind of go back, we got the sales campaign objective set up. We don't have the catalog set in. We're not doing an A/B test, right? We have the campaign budget optimization set, yes, and we're spending $100 daily, and then that's it. Campaign bid strategy, highest volume. If you want to look at it and see what other types you have, some you can't even really pick, such as like ROAS Gold, but set it at the highest volume, and then click next. Boom. And I want to say that if you made it this far in this video so far, you've gotten further than a lot of people in terms of success. A lot of people don't do, right? Which is just selecting the right campaign objective, right? So you're on a good path if you've gotten this far. So over here it says ad set, right? This is essentially where you set up the audience target, who it is that you want to target. This is a highly, highly, highly important task to not mess up. So pay attention really closely, right? So we're not going to set a name yet because we don't know what we're going to target yet. So we're going to go ahead and pick the target. But we want to make sure that in terms of like the conversion location, right, it's going to be website. You're sending people to your Shopify store, right, or your WooCommerce store. But Shopify is this is what I've seen people use a lot. That's what a lot of my clients use. So website, that's what we're driving traffic to, right? If you wanted to, for example, get people to call you, download an app, or just like on the messaging app. So obviously you have those options over here too as well. But for the sake of this video, we want people to purchase products online. So we're going to pick where we're sending traffic to the website, right? And this is very important too as well. And I'm going to explain when you see conversions event, right? Let's click on that. So when you're looking at the conversion event, you see over here you have purchase, you have add to cart, initiate checkout, add payment information, search volume, view content. See, it's very important that on this step, if your ad account is brand new, right, you want to take some micro steps. So obviously a lot of people will say, yes, purchase makes the perfect sense. And I would encourage you guys to pick that objective, which we're going to pick in this video. But in the case that you're not getting any conversion, right, meaning the pixel is finding it difficult to find the right people, right, you need to kind of take a step back, right? You need to pick the add to cart. So meaning a little higher event action, right? It's not all the way at the bottom as the purchase event action. It's the add to cart is a little higher, right? And so with that, you're gonna get a really low cost per add to cart, right? And ultimately, when you get conversion, it's gonna be a little cheaper, right? Because with the purchase objective, this is like a bottom of the funnel campaign objective or conversion action, right? But just for the sake of this video, this is usually what you want to go forward with. This is what you want to proceed with. Again, in the case that you ran this campaign for a little while, you're not really getting the purchases, the conversion that you're looking for, then you want to take a step back, right? In some cases, you can create 2 campaigns. One of them is for add to cart, one of them is for purchases, right? But again, for this video, we're just going to create a purchase objective, right? Obviously, over here, this is where you set when you want to schedule the campaigns, but we let our campaign run continuously. Like, we don't set a start or end or anything like that. Boom, audience. This is really where like the power of like Facebook really happens. So depending on what country that you're at, you obviously want to set that location, right? So we're going to do the states, United States of America. United States, not the kingdom. Boom, United States. And then what you see over here, it'll give you an audience size. Like people within the United States that use Facebook and are actively online, it's around $241 million, right? Not dollars, but it's around 241 million users or people. Right, so you can see that over here. It gives you an estimate of the audience size. And then this is another thing that people don't really pay too much attention to, but it says over here, people living in or recently in this location. So essentially what this means is like people that may, that currently live in the US or people that may have lived in the US but don't live in the US anymore, right? So that's who these people are going to target. So they may have lived in the US, but they currently live in Italy, but then, or Spain, but then they're also going to see our ad, even though we're not targeting Spain, right? So just to be efficient, you always want to focus. You want to change this objective to people living in this location that I have targeted and not targeting any other location, regardless if they have lived there or not, right? Boom. Cool. So you have that sentence in place, you have the location, right? And over here now, if you know your target demographic, who you want to target, then you can go ahead and start messing around with this. Oh, maybe I'm targeting people from 25 to 65 or from 25 to 50 or from 30 to 40, right? Me, I like to leave this open, especially if your account is brand new. I will leave this open. So because in this process, you're trying to gather data, right? You're trying to see who are your customers, who are people that are purchasing for you, right? It's only after you look at your analytics and see what demographic are purchasing your products, then you can create a separate campaign focusing on that demographic. That's how you get more efficient within your account, right? But again, that's not really the purpose of this video, right? So we're going to leave it open. And then the gender, we're going to leave it open. Say, for example, if your product, that you're selling is just based for men or for women, then yeah, you want to select the, if you're selling like makeup, lipstick, things of that essence, then you want to obviously select to women, right? And that's the only really time that you would want to change the gender to either male or female. But in most cases, we're going to leave it open, right? Boom, detailed targeting. This is really where I see a lot of people go wrong, right? So detailed targeting, if you're a clothing company, right, and I'll show you an example of a clothing company that I manage. So if you're a clothing company, so there's a lot of audiences that you can test. The problem that I see is people get too granular with their target and causing a problem. It suffocates the pixel. The pixel doesn't really have a lot of room to work with. So it makes it extremely hard for the pixel to find your customer, right, your ideal customer. And your cost per acquisition is going to be extremely high. So I like to leave my audience as open as possible. I want to have the audience size to be as big as possible, within a couple of millions, right? So, if we're talking to a fashion company, so we're going to do people interested in fashion. So we're going to do fashion. So you see, when you type in over here, you already have all these options that you can pick from, right? So you don't have to, you already have all these options that you can pick up. So I'm going to select fashion accessories. I'm also going to, I'm going to click over here on suggest, right? It's going to suggest other audiences that are similar to one I've just selected. We're going to see clothing apparel. Yes, we're a clothing company, right? People interested in clothing apparel. People interested in tops, clothing. Yes, I like that. Yes. People interested in sweater. If you sell sweaters, yes, I like that. Outerwear, yep. That's perfect. That fits within exactly what I'm selling. If you have dresses that you're selling, then yes. Shirts, yes, absolutely. You can see that the audience starts to decrease, right? Remember it was at 241 million. Now it's like 168 million, right? Now let's see what else we can include in there, right? So for example, if you sell like luxurious product, then you definitely want to target people who have an interest in luxurious goods. So like luxurious good, boom. I'm going to select that as well. And what else can we select over here? Shorts, yes, definitely shorts, right? And you can see that, let's look at the audience size. It's 170 million right now, right? So this is good. This is a good place to start, right? This is an extremely large audience size. So I'm good with that. This is going to be one of my audiences, right? Boom. I'm not going to do anything else with this, right? Obviously, you can select the language. Say if your ad is specified to a specific demographic that speaks a specific language, then obviously that you want to pick that language over here that, So for example, if you're targeting, Spanish speaking or French speaking people, then you want to set that over here. But obviously like your ad has to be in that specific language, right? So that's really the only time you ever want to target this. But then you have the placement. So the placement essentially is where your ad are going to be displayed within Meta inventory of placement. That Meta, which is also Facebook. Obviously, they own like the Facebook, like the news feed, stories. This is all places or placement where you can input your ad. And you also have your Instagram. You have Instagram Reels. You also have Facebook Reels. You have Instagram Stories. You have Instagram. There's a lot of different placement that you can pick, right? You can do this manually, or you can select advantage placement. So essentially, Facebook is gonna do the placement automatically for you, right? And the reason why I would recommend this, unless you know specifically where your demographic is spending their time and where they're purchasing, you know that your demographic doesn't really spend time on Facebook. They're mainly on Instagram, right? And so then, okay, cool. Then you only want to place your ad on Instagram, right? If it's the opposite, then you want to pick Facebook, right? But again, like I said, I always leave this section open. So we got that set into place, right? And then you also have like the optimization delivery strategy. So you have different options over here. But again, we want to pick conversions. We're not going after landing page visitors or anything like that. We want conversions. It's pretty cool that as you can see like the value of it. And when you see on the right, you can see that the this is a bottom of the funnel action. If you pick landing page view, this is a mid funnel action, right? So it's pretty cool that it shows that. It shows you what the optimization strategy, where it's focused on in terms of like what part of the funnel, right? So conversion, we want bottom of the funnel. We want people to purchase our products, right? Boom. So we've got that set into place. And then you can select show more. And then this is where you select like your attribution window, right? To tell you a little bit more about the attribution window. So if you click select, so you really only have a few options, but I would recommend you leave it to 7 day click, 1 day view. So essentially this is saying is for Facebook to get attribution, to get credit for the ad, a customer needs to click an ad and then convert within a 7 day time frame. If it's outside of that 7 day time frame, Facebook doesn't get credit for that, right? It kind of sucks because depending on the product that you sell, if you have a product that's like really high ticket, right? Obviously with that, the customer journey, it takes a lot more than 7 days to get that customer to purchase your product, right? It can take 30 days, it can take 60 days, it can take even more than that, right? So that's where Facebook can be a bit limited, but obviously there's other channels such as like Google Analytics and other platforms like cross-platform to where you can really track down where your conversions are coming from, right? Using UTM parameters. But for this, you want to do the largest time frame, which is going to be 7 day click, 1 day view. Boom, you're all good. When you want to get charged, I don't really ever mess with this. Impressions, right? Go to the next place. Next. So let's go back a little bit. So you have your audience set into place, right? So in terms of naming it, so I would just select this to be interest. So INT means for interest. I will do fashion, boom. And that's it. I mean, you can get a little more details within the name and you can pick what age you're targeting, right? You can also do that. And like US, right? So you can also do that. But I just like to leave it as it is and then go to the next one. Boom. So 2 things over here. So this is the ad. So this is what people will be seeing within their news feed, within their stories, within their reel. This is where all this is, set in place. So you really want to make sure you've got this section set up right. So obviously you want to select the Facebook page which your ad is going to be displayed upon, right? And then you also want to select the Instagram account, right? So you want to make sure you have all this set up into place. And then you see like the ad setup. Do manual, right? Unless you have a catalog, this is the only time where you want to select that. But for the most part, you want to do manual, right? So within the manual, so you have the different format that you have. You have like single image video, right? You have single image or video ad. You have carousel, you have collection, right? And just for simplicity, and in a later video, we can get a little more granular in terms of like the different format that you can display within Facebook, right? So we're going to do a single image, right? Or you can do a carousel if you have like multiple images that you want to put to show, then you can do that too as well. Boom, you selected an image, right? So you got that, right? And so you also see this option over here, multi-advertiser ads. So if you read this, what it says, help people discover your product when they show commercial intent and are in a shopping mindset. So essentially, what this means, right? So if, for the example that was shown, if you're an apparel company, right, and you select this, that means that Facebook is also going to show your ad to individuals that are in the market searching for a apparel company. And how Facebook knows it is that perhaps it's viewed your competitor's website. It's gone to some of your competitors' website and then they view some products over here. Facebook knows that, right? So cool. Facebook is going to be like, oh, so you viewed a similar product or a similar company to yours, right? So they can also show your products to them because they know that they're in the market searching for that product just based upon their activity. They went to your competitor, they were viewing their website, they were viewing their catalog, but they didn't purchase. So Facebook is also going to give them an opportunity for them to purchase your product. So that's essentially what this means, okay? So obviously over here, with direct to consumer, you don't have to. This is very important. So you want to make sure you have the right text, right? That's very persuasive, right? Like direct response, get people to click on your specific ad, right? So this is essentially where you want to set that. You want to set that all up, right? And like I said, I'll show you another ad account where all this is already built out, but this is important. So this is where you set up the primary text where people will see. What people will see, right? Talking about the product, talking about the, maybe the company, right? And then over here, this is where you select the headline, right? And then you can include the description. This is not required, but you can also include the description, right? And on the bottom over here, this is the call to action. What is the action that people are going to take to click on your ad? If you want people to purchase your product, then you want to click shop now, right? Very transactional. Shop now. Boom, right here. Shop now. And then you want to set up obviously where you want to direct traffic to, right? Now, there's things that you can test with this, right? So you can send people to your main e-commerce store to where it just, boom, they go to the home page and then they can see multiple actions. They can see a little more about the brand, things of this essence, right? Or you can send them directly to a catalog page, right? Or to a product page, right? Or for them to see other products that you have in store, right? So there's different things that you can set up over here. But obviously, this is important. You cannot deploy an ad without selecting the destination where you want to send your traffic to, right? And then the other thing that's really important is that tracking. You want to make sure that you have your tracking set into place. I've audited accounts to where they're running advertising, they're spending a decent amount of money, but they don't have any tracking set in place. They don't have the pixel selected. Even though they have the pixel on their account, but they don't have it selected over here. So this means that you're going to be driving all this traffic, but you're not tracking the people that are coming to your website. And why it's important to track the people that are coming to your website is that at a later time, if they don't purchase from you, you can remarket to them, right? This is really where the power of Facebook comes into place. You can remarket to those people hey, we saw that you came to our website, you didn't purchase. Here's a 10% off discount. Here's a free shipping offer, right? That's where you're going to see a lot of your conversion within your remarketing campaign. So you want to make sure that you're collecting data while you're running these prospecting campaigns, right? That's the whole point. You're prospecting, right? Getting in front of people, and then you want to send them to your website to where later a majority of those people are not going to purchase your product within them first seeing the brand. So instead of later time, within a couple of days, them considering about even purchasing your product and then consistently seeing your ad within the remarketing campaigns that you're going to deploy. So it's important. It's highly important that you set up the tracking, right? And then another thing, and I'll show you this in another account here in a moment, URL parameters, right? So essentially, this means that with Facebook being really limited right now within the attribution window, only being able to track conversion action within a 7-day time frame. So by setting up UTM parameters, you're able to track Facebook action within other platforms such as Google Analytics. You can go to Google Analytics and see that, your traffic is coming from Facebook because of the UTM parameters. So it just gives you another viewpoint outside of Facebook, right? Although Facebook and Google Analytics don't play too well together, but it's just another opportunity to really see the bigger picture. So it's important that you set up UTM parameters right here, right? And guys, to be honest, it's not that hard, right? Obviously, there's more details, which we're going to talk about in a later video. There's more details that you want to make sure that you have set into place in terms make sure you have the right ad, the different ad format. But this is really just the basics. This is just the basic. Let's look at an account, right, to where all this is set into place. It's perfectly set into place, right? And I'm going to blur out the specific brand, right? So, for example, we're going to click on this specific campaign. This is a prospecting campaign, okay? Cool. Now, you see that within this prospecting campaign, you can see the settings. It's exactly what I showed you guys earlier, right? That I showed you guys earlier. So it's the auction. The buying type is auction, sales, which is what we want, right? And we're not doing any A/B testing, right? We have the campaign budget optimization set in place, or Advantage campaign budget set into place, and we're spending $25 a day. Cool. And then campaign bid strategy, highest volume or value. That's it. That's simple. Let's look at the audience, right? Exactly how I showed you guys. So we're gonna do a fashion one. So if you see again where traffic is being directed, this is the website, as I showed you guys, right? Obviously you have other option, and there's this new option over here where it says website and shop. So essentially what this is that Facebook can choose to send traffic based upon where it thinks people are likely to convert. So it can send traffic to the website, or it can send traffic to your Instagram shop page, right? Where they don't necessarily have to go to a website, but they can purchase on the platform, right? But you need to get that set into place before this can even work. But that is one test that you can run. So website is what we've selected in this one, and then we want the maximum number of conversion. We want the maximum number of the conversion. We have the pixel set into place, and then the conversion event is purchase, right? So all of that is set up, and then if you look at the audience targeting, right? If you look at the audience targeting, so obviously we're talking to people in the United States, and then we know a little bit about the age. We know a little more about our demographic through tests. We know that our demographic is between the age 18 or 50, nothing really more than that, right? And then if you look, this is very important for you to see that when you look at the custom audience, right? When you look at the custom audience, you see that, boom, we excluded, because this is a prospecting campaign, we want to exclude people who have already purchased from us. We don't want people that have already purchased from us to see our ad, right? Because it's like, oh, I already purchased it. Like, why are you showing me this again, right? So it's a disservice to them. So we're not gonna show them our ad. So this is where we want to exclude people who have purchased from you within the last 30 days. We also want to exclude people who have visited your website, right? Or having anything to do with your company within the last 30 days. So you want to exclude all these people, so you're not wasting your marketing budget on showing your ad to those people, because you know that, oh, either they already purchased my product, it doesn't make sense for me to show them this, or they already went to my website and I have a marketing campaign set into place to capture that attention, right? So you want to make sure that in this prospecting campaign, it's fresh. You're showing your ad to brand new people, right? Hence why you want to exclude 30-day purchases and people who have visited your website within the last 30 days, or they have viewed a specific product. So this aspect of here is very important to set into place. And then this is the fashion brand. So details, targeting, we've said jackets, shirts, shorts, things of that essence, right? And then see with this one, another thing that we've done is we've layered engaged shoppers. So essentially with the engaged shoppers, Facebook knows people who have purchased recently, right? So adding this as a layer, there's a higher propensity of this audience converting, right? Obviously, this is a test. This is something that I'm testing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So this is just one of the tests that you can set into place. And then, as I've said, I always leave it to Advantage plus placement. And boom, in terms of audience, the asset, that's it. Let's look at the ad. We're gonna cover the actual ad, just for the privacy of this account, right? But obviously, like I said before, you want to make sure that you're covering the page. You want to make sure that you have the right page set into place, the Facebook page and the Instagram as well, right? And we're gonna do one. Let's look one of this. So over here is where you're gonna be seeing the ad, right? It's good. It has like the ad copy, right? And it also has the creative, and it also has like the call to action over here, which is shop now, right? And over here on the right hand side as well, you'll see how these ads are going to be displayed within the different inventory of Facebook, right? So you'll have like the Facebook news feed, you'll have like the Instagram feed, you also have like the Instagram profile feed, right? And then you also have like places such as like the stories, how it's going to be displayed over there. So you can also see all of that over here too as well, right? So this is a single image. So this is a single image specific ad. And like I said, boom, this is where you have the copy, right? Boom, you have the copy over here, you have your headline over here, and then you can add more descriptions right down on the bottom over here, right? And the call to action is shop now. And then obviously, like I said before, you just want to make sure that for example, for this one, we're sending people to the collection page so they can see different products within the collection, right? That's another test. One of the other tests that I said earlier, you can send people to the home page, right? They can see more about the company, more just how the whole brand feels, right? And a lot of people, when they go to the home page, they're also going to go to the collection page. But for this one, this is just a test that we've deployed and seems to be working. And you want to make sure that you got your pixel all set up. And then as I was talking about the UTM parameter, so this is an example of a UTM parameter. I will include this specific one that we use. So essentially, with this UTM parameter, this speaks directly to Google Analytics, right? It lets us know the traffic information about our Facebook advertising in Google Analytics. So you can look at another platform for more a holistic view of how the campaign is doing, so to speak, right? Cool. You have that set into place, right? So this is just really like the simplest things that you can do to make sure that you're getting like the highest possible conversion for your specific account, right? Let's just look at some of the performance of this specific campaign structure and account setup, right? So I'm gonna do my best. Really, just I have to cover I have to cover like some of the campaigns. I have to cover the specific account that I'm showing over here, but you can see over here this specific account that we're looking at, right? This is a prospecting campaign, right? We're spending $25. Spending 20. Yeah, this is from looking at this is from March 1st to the 31st. We're spending $25 here on this specific campaign, right? And then we can see, okay, cool. We've gotten 14 purchases with just $25 a day. In the last this campaign, because we have it set up correctly, you have 14 purchases over here, right? And then look at how much traffic is generated, 738. Look at how many people have added a product to a cart from this specific campaign. You can also see that it's 53, right? What's the cost per add to cart? $10.66, right? And then as you go further down the funnel, we can see, oh, snap. You know, the cost per purchase for this specific campaign is $40.35. Okay, cool. That's pretty good, right? And let's look at the ROAS, right? Return on ad spend. It's 2.54. That's pretty good, right? It's making a profit. That's pretty good. And then how many purchases did we generate from this campaign? 14. How much revenue did this specific campaign generate? $1,432.54. Oh, damn, that's pretty good, man. And so you see what I'm saying? This it's when you have the right campaign set into place, it just makes life so much more easier. You get conversion, and then you start testing different things, right? I hope this is really helpful. If you just look at the other campaigns that we have running with this specific account, you know, we'll talk about this in a later video, but this one we're getting 64 purchases in the last 30 days, 31 days, 42, 74 purchases, right? Just by having the campaign set up properly, right? And you look at the conversion value, how much revenue the campaign has generated, $9,141, $7,000, $5,000, over $6,000, just from having the right campaign set into place. This is a very profitable account. This is a very, very profitable account. If we look overall at the performance of it, right? So in the last, from the March 1st to 34, we've generated $26,224.12. 216 purchases. That's a 401% return on ad spend. Most brands and companies are dying for results like this. And again, you can achieve this by just making sure you have the right campaigns objectives set into place. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you subscribe and like the channel. And if you have any question, please drop them down in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to answer.